German Chancellor Merz suggested yesterday that a meeting between Russian President Putin and Volodymyr Zelensky might not take place at all. In this context, could you explain how likely such a meeting is to happen?
Allow me to remind you of President Putin's position. He does not rule out the possibility of holding such a meeting. However, he believes that
German Chancellor Merz suggested yesterday that a meeting between Russian President Putin and Volodymyr Zelensky might not take place at all. In this context, could you explain how likely such a meeting is to happen? And if it does not go ahead, what will become of the peace process?
Allow me to remind you of President Putin's position. He does not rule out the possibility of holding such a meeting. However, he believes that any high-level talks should be thoroughly prepared. This is to ensure they can finalize the groundwork, which should initially be conducted at expert level. At present, we cannot say that expert work is progressing well, so to speak. No, unfortunately not. We remain interested and prepared for such negotiations. All our positions have been communicated, and the key points have been put in writing and shared with the Ukrainian side. Yes, this is our proposal, and further discussion is needed.
The Turkish foreign minister has revealed some details about the negotiations between Presidents Putin and Trump in Alaska, concerning territorial concessions by Russia. How does the Kremlin view this, and was this statement agreed upon? Thank you.
What did he reveal?
Concerning Russia's willingness to cede parts of the Zaporizhzhia and Kherson regions, which are currently under Ukrainian armed forces control.
Understood. We deliberately choose not to disclose all the details of the conversation between the two presidents held in Alaska. Overall, I can confirm that the discussion was necessary, and President Putin himself mentioned this. It was timely, substantial, and very constructive. The topic of the Ukrainian settlement was discussed in depth, but we believe that revealing any specifics at this stage would be inappropriate, as it is vital to proceed with discretion in the interest of reaching a settlement.
Vyacheslav Nikonov, speaking in an interview with a Kremlin pool journalist, mentioned that as part of the parliamentary delegation, he had several meetings with Xi Jinping, during which he heard the phrase back-to-back. In other words, Russia and China are positioned back-to-back, facing east, while we face west and are protected. How would you comment on this analogy?
With all due respect, I am not Mr. Nikonov's press secretary. I am the press secretary for President Putin. However, generally speaking, regarding our relations with China, they represent a special, privileged strategic partnership. We value these relations highly, and they truly are a partnership, with the scope of these ties being difficult to overstate at present. At the same time, both we and our Chinese counterparts agree that the potential of our bilateral relationship remains far from fully realized. On Natalia Nagovitsina's evacuation, of course, Russian authorities, through our embassy and the Ministry of Emergency Situations, have well-established channels for cooperation with our KYRGYZ friends. They are in full contact, synchronizing their efforts. As you know, our KYRGYZ friends made desperate attempts to rescue this mountaineer. Certain information was obtained from the drone. This information is publicly available. However, our Ministry of Emergency Situations is certainly coordinating its actions with our KYRGYZ colleagues.